What's up, everyone? Welcome to the final practice video for the $500,000 tournament. I wanted to do a couple more, but sadly, we are out of time. This is gonna be the one. Maybe I'll make it extra long, depending on how much energy I have. Now, if you look at my rank, you can see that we have reached rank 23 Grandmaster. I've played a couple games off recording, and we beat a couple of really high MMR Protoss players. We are almost 6.1k MMR. It looks like we might barely not reach my goal of 6.2k, even if we win every game. But let's try our best. All right, the first game is going to be against the Grandmaster Zerg on Golden Era. Now, I did get a cheeky, quick change of portrait. I was just feeling the Bastion here. I wonder if most of you still know what Bastion is. I feel like at some point, everyone had tried Overwatch a little bit, but people forgot. But the Overwatch portraits are very cool in StarCraft, I have to say. Like, they are incredibly well made. Now, I want to share something here about my win rates, guys. For most of this, little practice streak that I've had, right? I've talked about having to work on my TVP, having to get better against Protoss. And I feel like it created a bit of a weird effect where I was feeling overconfident against Terran and Zerg. And it wasn't because my TVT or my TVZ were particularly good. It was just because I felt like my TVP was worse, which must mean that my TVT and TVZ are good enough. So now I'm in a weird spot where my TVP got better. I feel pretty alright with the TVP now with some of the new builds we've tried. But now I'm less confident overall because it made me realize that my TVT and TVZ are not really that great either. So I do think for me personally, having confidence is quite important. I read some studies about this, and I also talked to a coach about it at some point. And confidence seems to be very important and also not important at the same time. And it's not important in some way because all you should be focusing on is your execution of the build anyway, right? But I still always felt like having confidence just made me fly. Like, I was very confident with my moves, and I think it's definitely going to make you play better. But for myself, when I'm approaching games, when I have to play, the level of confidence I have shouldn't matter because it is currently not in my control, right? So to say. So I should just be focusing on how well I execute my build orders and not be worried about, oh no, I think my TVT kind of sucks or whatever, because it doesn't really matter in that moment, right? Now, let's see. We are playing against the Grandmaster Zerg. We haven't played a Zerg in a while, at least I feel like. I know I've played against Zerg in my other videos, but I don't remember the last time we played. I remember playing the Cyclone build against Thriving GG once. I don't remember what that map was called, actually. Was it Hecate, maybe? Don't quite remember. I still don't think if I talk about the map names, you guys really care about that. Like, I can't imagine if you guys are like, oh yeah, Hecate, that's this map with that and blah, blah, blah. Like, I think you're just like, oh, it's a map of StarCraft, right? I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but I feel like that's what you guys think. Like, I don't think you guys care that much when I talk about specific map names. Now, let's see. Can I block it? I did block it for a while. Couldn't quite get the kill on it, though. There's no Zerglings here, which makes me think there's probably Zerglings on the way to my base. He's making a lair already, which is a freaking super fast lair. What am I gonna do about that lair? This build does look pretty cool, by the way, I have to admit. Like, this build looked like something I would play with my own Zerg, like a super fast lair. It's kind of like the link drop, I guess, right? Now, I'm very tempted to make Cyclones, but I could also... You know what? I think this is a good time for me to kind of experiment with how I can respond to a 2-base lair and still be fine. Like, how greedy can I be exactly, right? Okay, so he's making a Roach War, and that is pretty obvious. I think I'll probably make a Tekla there so I can potentially go for Banshees. I'm going to make 2 Hellions and then 2 Cyclones. I think making the Cyclones is important, but I don't really know how I want to handle it, because if I only get Cyclones and we're going to play against, let's say, mass Lynx or mass Speed Roaches or just something fast, right? Then it's going to be pretty bad. But Cyclones are pretty well-rounded. So if I, go up against, like, Mutas, for example, that does change a decent amount. Kind of want to save this Reaper now. I really thought I was going to get in with those, but I guess if the Hellions aren't going to get in, I need to save my scouting for a later date. I'm going to start making Speed Banshees. I think I can go across with these, but it's pretty risky, to be honest. Okay, so I'm going to be able to kill this Overseer, which is quite nice. He's not going to be able to get a scout off against the Banshee. That's great. And then I'm going to send these across. I definitely feel like I'm being a little risky here, to be honest, but it is what it is. I'm going to send this bad boy in one more time to try and get the scout. Oh, wait, there's Overlords Those overlords are too far out on the map. Yeah, I think I know what he's doing. This looks like he's going for like the creep highway, right? Like he's trying to make a creep highway with the overlords for the roaches. Let's see if I can get one. Barely not. But this time I do have the Banshee already. So I guess... Wait, maybe it would be good for me to run by these Hellions again. Actually, I'm going to stop making Cyclones. I don't want to be making Cyclones here. I think the Banshee is going to be pretty good at holding stuff off anyway. I don't know what my follow-up should be here, though. Like, this is putting me in an incredibly awkward position, I have to admit. Like, this is not very comfortable. So here are 2 Hellions. Yeah, he doesn't have any queens, exactly. Oh, this is really nice. This is what I was expecting. The roaches moved out. He canceled the wall. And now my 2 Hellions are getting so much freaking damage. Oh, that's already like 10 kills, guys. He's making an infestation pit, too, which... I don't really know what it's for, to be honest. I mean, he clearly has a lot of roaches on the way. Let's see, he's going to be able to block that. Oh, the roaches are back now. He doesn't have +1. That's quite notable. I guess I'll just go across with these 2 Banshees. Yeah, you know what? Guys, I should probably even cloak these. I'm going to make a 4th command center. I know it sounds crazy, but I feel like the 4th command center here is going to be a decent choice. I'm going to cloak these already because he doesn't have a spore. I noticed that there wasn't a spore there, so now he might not have paid attention to the freaking Banshees. They're gonna get in. There's not gonna be a spore, I think. Exactly, and he's gonna lose all of these drones. Oh, this is freaking brutal. Here we go, guys. Like, he has a pretty big roach count, but he's gonna lose so many drones. And if he attacks me, I still have the 2 Cyclones behind the wall, as well as a tank and another Banshee on the way, which is also unusual. Okay, look how many I'm gonna kill. Exactly, there we go. All right. Now, this was... a very satisfying game. Like, I've lost to this build before. Wait, what? Oh, no, he canceled it. Okay, I wasn't crazy, right? It was an infestation pit before, no? Or am I actually insane? Okay, thank goodness. I thought I was insane there for a second. I was like, wait, it was a Hydralisk dead all this time? But no, this build is very strong. This is also a build that Cyril, the best player and best Zerg, obviously, in the world has done before. Where the speed roaches can really hit super hard. And I did like the way I dealt with it. Like, I wasn't too scared. So I moved out with my units. I got confirmation scouts all the time. Like, oh, now he's making drones. Now he's taking a 3rd base. He has an Evo wall. Then he canceled it, etc. And then the Banshees... really good choice here as well. I do have to be careful because sometimes with this build, they will go for... They make like 2... This guy only made 2 queens, right? Oh, 3 queens, actually. Yeah, they make like a couple extra queens and they put them all in the overlord and come across. Queens are super good against Banshees. Like, really, really good. All they need is 1 overseer and that's already it. So maybe next time, just thinking about this build, thinking about what I've done wrong, I will probably make a bunker here. I feel like I need to make a bunker just to be sure and then kind of let my Banshees and Hellions do the counter damage. But fantastic warm-up game. Let's go to game number 2. All right, game number 2 is against TC Ultimate, a Grandmaster Protoss. All right, now what is a strategy? Actually, I do have an idea. I figured out a decent build for a macro sequence from a weird opening that I don't think I've showed. That was a lot of mouthful, by the way. I don't think I've showed you guys that, by the way. Like, I think I mentioned it before that macro games against Protoss, not usually my jam. But there's also a bit of a disconnect between playing like an aggressive opener that you like and it having a good macro follow-up. Like, I think most of the builds that have a good macro follow-up are more like standard types of aggression against Protoss, and I don't really like those. But I think the last time I tried, I'm pretty sure I played against Mana. I actually took a game of Mana with this build order, who is now a 6.4k Protoss, by the way, so that was pretty nice. And I did like the way it went into the macro game. I think I might have even played like double Raven or something. Let's see if I still remember how to do it. This is one of the things I was always bad at, is remembering build orders. And I know that sounds crazy to you guys because you guys watch me and I'm like, oh yeah, this is happening and that's happening. But one thing that I wasn't that good at is I would practice a build order so many times and then I would arrive at an event and I was like, wait, was this gas first or barracks first? And I would just, for some reason, I would just forget in a moment. Like, at some point I started, you know, writing my build orders down because otherwise I would actually just forget them and do the wrong build every time. But it's good to be able to do it from memory because then I get a little more confidence there that I'm actually able to execute the build order right, and I'm more tempted to go through with it. Now, yesterday I tried to play... I'm pretty sure I played one ladder game yesterday, and I played against Strange, who is also a high-level Protoss player. And I was doing this build, and he proxy gated me. And it seemed like my build is automatically good against proxy gate as well. So that was just quite nice to figure out. I didn't really know Protoss players were still doing proxy gates, but apparently it's not the least common build ever. So that is also nice to have. There's one thing about playing tournaments that just changes up everything, because you're always going to be a little extra busy with you know, trying to figure out what your opponent's doing and making builds that are good against your opponent's build and etc. etc. So if you have a build that's automatically good against like easier or not easier, earlier types of aggression such as proxy gates or oh, he's just gonna give me the probe. That's quite nice actually, because it was already obvious I was playing double gas anyway. If you have a build that's good against early aggression automatically, then that's like a big worry that's off your shoulders for the match, right? Like one thing I always recommended students to do against Zerg if they were bad against cheeses is, well, not right now, because now the build's a little weaker than it was back then, but to play like a 3-racks, for example. So like a reactor first into 2 extra barracks, because it was a legit build at the time. This is important. Like your build still has to be good, right? Like you don't want to do 1 base battlecruiser Banshee just to defend cheeses. But if you have like an actual strategy like 3-racks back in the day, that build is also automatically good against cheeses because you just have a lot of Marines and they can show up at 7 roaches. If you have 20 Marines instead of the usual, let's say, what would you have, 6 Hellions and a Viking or something, then that's obviously a pretty big difference, right? So the fact that my build here is going to be good against that is very, very nice. Now, yeah, I'm going to go for the Tech Lab here. This is one thing I struggle with a little bit. If I'm playing against Stargate right now, I would prefer to make a Cyclone, for which I don't need a Tech Lab anymore, right? But I can't really scout it in time unless I YOLO the first Reaper in. But if I send the first Reaper in, then the follow-up attack is going to be significantly worse because I have that DPS less, right? Oh, he only clicked a couple probes away. I'm kind of surprised how he's handling this. He could have just... He has 4 Stalkers already. He could have had all of these on the low ground and he would have been completely fine. But instead he let me kill a couple pros, which is nice. Now I'm definitely going to have to work on getting enough tanks out. Let's get 2 Ravens. Which means I'm going to make, yeah, the barracks now. I think that sounds about right. Okay, I'm going to split up my units, see how it goes. Going to send the rest of my units are a little late. That's unfortunate. I thought that was going to be a little faster. Still fine, though. I could see the Robo finish there, which is quite nice. I'm just going to make sure I get a really full scout. Okay, so there's... Wait, yeah, I think he did open with 2 gateways, right? Oh, that's going to be very good for us then. That is not really an efficient build order at all. So he opened with 2 gateways just to defend my early aggression. But yeah, my build is considered pretty standard these days, or at least like the double gas into the, you know, one-on-one pretty much. So quite happy with that. Now he does have a Robo. That's a unit they don't usually have that fast. So I will siege a tank in my main base just in case he tries to drop there. This is always going to be a little sketch. Here, let me get the mules back. Yeah, he's going to attack pretty hard. Let's see. I don't have any units left. Yeah, this is definitely a bit unfortunate. I guess I would just have to wait for a second tank to pop out, to be honest. Like, I'm going to have the Raven to attack him with. So that's going to be quite nice as well. I think it's a good time for me to get the extra barracks up. He didn't make any batteries either, which is going to be pretty great for me. And I know he doesn't have a Stargate, so I can just AFK these Ravens in his base. Or like in the dead space behind his base until the end of time, pretty much. Like I feel like we're in a very comfortable position now, to be fair. Even though not that much has happened. I guess I will just siege a tank a little bit further forward. Here we go. He might try to get on top of it. Yeah, he's going to try. Okay, that's going to be a pretty painful move for him. I think I can probably get the Prism here. Exactly, yeah. So he's going to lose all of these Stalkers. And that's going to put us into an even better position, especially if he doesn't respond to this auto turret fast because he's busy microing. Could probably pull a couple extra workers. Let's see if I can get this around here. There we go. And now I'm going to have 2 Ravens chilling in the back of his mineral line, which is going to be even more annoying than it already was before. And did I lose any SCVs? I don't think I really did lose any SCVs. I'm gonna wall off the natural as well. That's gonna help me keep me safe against DTs. Let's see. There's no battery yet, but he does have a Robo Bay. So let's see. I don't have interference matrix, right? I feel like we might have to play this game a little slower. Like, keep this in mind, right? Like, we're definitely ahead right now in terms of economy and stuff, but pushing against a Robo Bay, yeah, just a Robo Bay. Well, Disruptors wouldn't be so bad. Let's say Colossus in particular. We're probably not going to have the best time ever. So maybe here we should just go for the full economy and get a 3rd base and maybe play it like a little more like with drops and stuff rather than big pushes at the front, right? Okay, so now he has Stalkers there finally. See, I'm gonna do a 2 medevac drop. It's one of the classic. You know, it's actually funny. I wonder if the moves that I always used to do would work better now because people forgot about them since I haven't competed, right? Like, this is one move that I would always do. I would always get 2 medevacs. Wait, is there an observer here? I feel like I saw an observer somewhere. Nah, it's gonna be fine. I don't think he has blink anyway. I would always grab 2 medevacs full of Marines, send them all the way around the edges of the map into the main base, and then slowly push with the rest of my army. And this worked so many times for me until people started, you know, blind countering it, and they would just like put an observer here, and then they would just blink on top of my medevac, and then I was all of a sudden very sad. That's pretty much how that evolved. But maybe at this point, people would have forgotten about it already. That would be very pleasant for me. I do think I should be moving out right now. Wait, do I have... Oh yeah, I lost 1 tank, of course. I was wondering, like, I'm supposed to have 3 tanks with this build, but I only had 2. But obviously, I did lose 1. Now, so far, once again, I do really like the flow of this build. Like, we had a decent amount of harassment, which is really nice. And, yeah, I mean, the supply is looking pretty healthy. It's not the most amount of supply you can have by this time, obviously, but I do definitely think it's pretty good. So I'm going to send the Ravens over here. This is basically going to be a triple prong, right? Let's see. There's only 2 Stalkers over here. I'll just up on top of those. Keep in mind that he probably doesn't have Blink yet as well. Okay, so he's going to have the Colossus over here. This is going to be pretty brutal. I think I can drop so many other turrets over there. It's going to be very painful for him. This drop in the main base is also absolutely slapping right now. Look at this. Oh my god, how many probes did he lose there? I feel like it was 1 million. Yeah, I'm going to split these. Can I target that battery real quick? Probably. Yeah, like, if he doesn't have a Colossus here, guys, he's not going to be able to kill that. Like, he needs the Colossus. Oh, no, I don't think I want to do this, right? I could be micro against that non-stop, but instead, I think I'm just going to focus on the front where I'm already winning. Oh, pretty sure I just shot my own Marauder there. I didn't mean to do that. Sorry, buddy. Let's see. Can I survive with these tanks? It's going to be tough. Zealots are super good against tanks, obviously. So this is going to be a little tougher for me. I think I'm still taking a pretty decent trade here, though. Let's see. Those are all dead. Okay. No, he has a little bit too much health on those. I would have loved if I was able to, you know, trade against those Zealots and kill more than I even should have. Let's get the 3rd over there. And once again, very good trades. I still think the strategy is once again better than the execution here, as has been a trend throughout these practice videos. Like, I'm in a massive winning position, but I still think the... yeah, I don't know. It's not like it was bad. It's just maybe I just have really high standards for that or something. I feel like it could have been even better. Okay, I'm going to start getting some ghosts now. My army is not that big, but I do have a lot of medevacs, which means that if I trade in low numbers, I would probably trade very efficiently. Yeah, so just creep. How many kills do these have? These have 20 kills, by the way, these Ravens, guys. These are 20 kill freaking Ravens. Oh, he does have a disruptor. Then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to layer my Widow Mines a little more. Like, I'm just going to send them in slowly. Okay, there we go. He actually didn't hit anything. That is massive. I thought he was going to kill at least something, but he didn't hit anything, which is nice. Okay, so now what you want to do is you want to put the Marines in the back so they don't take an inhuman amount of splash damage from these freaking laser giraffes. Okay, let's drop some more auto turrets. Doing that during the fight is always going to be nice. Like, as long as I keep these Marines split, they're going to trade pretty well. Like, look at the probe count here, guys. It is pretty much all gone already. He also lost a full amount of damage to those auto turrets here. Just going to keep them split no matter what. And now I think it's time to back off. But I've already killed, like, all of his probes pretty much. So I don't really have to worry about much more here. I do need to get an armory as well, of course. Let's not forget about the freaking armor. Now, I think going for Vikings would be nice. I mean, I have enough other stuff at the moment. I've also been bad at the Hot King, but I'm pretty sure that's going to be better in the tournament when I really am going to be at my max focus. Now, it's been fun for me trading against these Colossus because we're getting, you know, good trades, which is normally pretty rare against a full Colossus style. But now I'm going to go back to approaching... oh my god, he was actually sick of them, and he did actually make a Stargate just to kill these. That's pretty funny, not going to lie. That is a great move to see. Okay, so now he's going to see the drop there. There's a Zealot over here. Probably a couple more. No, it is really just one Zealot. Without upgrades too, which is quite interesting, I have to say. Okay, I mean, this is just going to go into the main base, right? Let's see what he has over here. Not much, really. Like, he has so little units that he can't split anymore. This is really how you want to be playing against Colossus for the most part, right? Like, you don't really want to be taking all of these frontal trades. Okay, that's going to be a free Archon. And there we go. Okay, I mean... yeah, strategy-wise, like I said, I think this was pretty much perfect, right? Like, to be fair, I could have dropped into the main base instead of pushing like a little earlier as well. Like the drops into the main base are always going to be really good against RoboBait tech, but I could just see that the trades were going to be good enough, right? Like I could see the trades were going to be good enough, but realistically, let's say I play against a higher ranked Protoss, a Protoss that I'm pretty sure is going to have more units than this. Maybe I should stick to the optimal game plan against RoboBait instead of trying to make like those snap, you know, they, how do you call it? Those split-second decisions, I guess. Like, I could have denied this base a little earlier, could have dropped here a little earlier, stuff like that. Maybe I could have gone for... Oh, I should have gone for a Widowmine drop too. It's good that I see this now. This is one of those typical moments that I'm talking about where I won very convincingly and I played well. So I'm very tempted to think, oh man, this was really good. But now I think about it more and more. There are definitely a good amount of things I could have done different. I could have made Vikings earlier. Like, I don't quite need 8 medevacs or 9 or whatever I had. And I also, as soon as I saw that he was very RoboBait dominant, Colossus and Disruptors, I could have dropped the Widowmines, picked them up in a medevac, and really from this airspace I have 3 bases to choose from, right? Like whichever one I want. So that would have been quite nice. Ghost timing was all right. Upgrades probably could have been a little faster, but I think the macro was better here than before, so that is really nice. Let's go to game number 3. Our third game is going to be against a Terran. Wait, that's one of each race, right? Yeah, one of each race. That is perfect. Little bit, you know, well-distributed practice before the tournament. That is great. Now, what am I going to do against a Terran player? I remember that we did have a little bit of a struggle in TVT momentarily. Like, our win rate is still pretty good in TVT, but I remember that game against... What's that guy called? Mishu it was, right? Yeah, the macro game against Mishu where it was just... The early game sucked, and then I forgot my upgrades, and it was a little tough. I mean, I think the build that we liked the most in the end was the Reaper Expand, but... I mean, there are some aggressive Terrans against which you don't want to be playing Reaper Expand every game. So for that reason, I want to have a nice, safe double gas build as well. Just, I do think it gets a little weird. I feel like from what I've seen, Terran players have a lot of weird different aggression builds, like dropping 2 Cyclones or, you know, running in the Reaper Hellion. And I feel like all of them kind of like counter each other. So it's not the easiest thing ever to, you know, figure out what to do here. Now, I'm definitely going to be scouting. Don't have to scout. Wait, actually, I wonder what the latest timing is you could possibly scout without dying to the Reaper, that is. Because, like, let's say you're going for a Reaper Expand. You do have to scout pretty early because otherwise you can't react to a proxy Reaper in time. With this build, you don't really have to react to a proxy Reaper that fast because you can just... You're going to make the factory anyway, right? Like, you just have to make Reapers and Hellions or maybe... Marines and Cyclones or whatever you want to build, but there's not really any reacting. The only time when it becomes a problem is if you don't scout at all and suddenly you get like your freaking Reaper caught or something by 2 Reapers, like then it's a problem, but otherwise perfectly fine. Now I think maybe I can just start delaying my scout a little bit because if I don't have to rush, I mean, as long as I don't lose it to a Reaper, that's pretty fine, right? Okay, so we're going up against a double gas here. And that is still a perfectly fine scout because what did we see there, guys? We saw that our opponent is playing gas first double gas, judging by the timing of the factory there, which means that he is most likely going to attack us with something stupid. So we are going to have to defend that. I'm going to make a reactor now, and I'm considering even going for like reactor Cyclone. I guess... I'm very tempted to make a lot of Cyclones these days. I think I've explained it before. Actually, yeah, in episode number 1, when I talked about my priorities for this little practice saga that we have going on, is that I need to learn how to play with the Cyclone. Like, if I know myself, guys, I'm going to be tempted to just think, oh, I'm going to, you know, let's say I'm playing the tournament, right? And I play against a new kind of aggression, like some kind of Ravager all in that I haven't seen. I'm going to be extremely tempted to just be like, oh, you know what? I think Cyclones will be pretty good here without ever having tested it, right? So I might as well test it now, so I at least know if it's terrible or not. So I can, you know, I have a better chance of convincing my brain to not do the thing. Sadly, that's more important than it is in my normal videos, because in my normal videos, I'm just having a blast. So this is going to be, you know, it's going to have a little more money on the line and stuff like that. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to make 1 Cyclone first, as you can see, and then I'll swap it over to the reactor. And then I'll just make 2. And it's, yeah, actually, maybe I should wall this off completely. I don't think this is that crazy. This is weird for TVT, but it's not that crazy of an idea here, guys. Because I'm going to... Look, check this out. I'm going to counterattack with these Reapers. If he attacks me, he would probably attack me before these Cyclones are out. But now I have a thick wall like that, you know, with a barracks. I mean, that barracks is not going to die to any attacks. You can still lift into my base, of course, but then it's going to turn into something else. Oh, wait, there's something else I wanted to try. I've seen pro players do this, and I haven't really liked it, but I'm still gonna try it. Oh, it looks like there's just... Okay, that looks like a cyclone drop. Wait, can I catch him? Guys, this would be so cool. He's gonna go for a cyclone drop, right? I mean, that seems pretty clear. Like, there was no add-on on there, and there's 2 cyclones already. If I could catch the freaking medevac, that would be insane. I'm gonna make 2 more cyclones at home. Maybe I can also just wait. He was building in Tekla, but it was not finished yet. Okay, well, this is gonna be a little weird. I'm also making a Liberator. That's the thing I was talking about. I've seen pro players play Cyclone Liberator, and the style in general. Wait, what does he have? I am so confused right now. Let's see if I can micro all of these perfectly. Probably. There we go. Okay, so we are gonna be staying alive. Let's see, the tank is going to be here pretty soon. Exactly. There's the cyclone drop as I was expecting. But I already have a couple of things left. Oh, he still had the boost. Okay. I just... oh, that's it already? Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, I guess we were winning. This was an... Yo, we played a perfect game. Let's go. Yo, that is not bad practice, guys. Now, I feel like I wanted to say 3 things at once and I kind of forgot. First of all, I pulled my SCVs because I thought he used the boost, which would have allowed us to just kill the medevac, which is nice. I did F2 this Liberator, which is pretty bad, but I also kind of get it. I mean, I was doing enough damage. If you look at the supply here, guys, it doesn't look like I was as far ahead as you would see here. But like, look at the unit tab here. I have 3 Reapers against 0. I have 5 Cyclones against 2. I have a Liberator. Oh, he was going for Cloak Banshee. Oh, okay, that does make a lot of sense. Yeah, that would have been pretty scary because I didn't have a Raven. So I guess that's another thing to think of the next time I want to do this build. Besides that, the build looked pretty good. I'm always very careful when it comes to judging builds off of games like this. Like, everything went my way here, right? Like, I killed his bunker. He wasn't able to repair a hit. His cyclones went so far around that I actually had time to get the extra cyclones out. It was just... He also let me get a free scout without killing the Reapers, by the way, if you remember. Even that's a thing. But what's weird here more than anything else is that he doesn't have add-ons on his buildings. Like, look at my base. Like, I go for a reactor instantly because it's just so efficient. I'm even going to get 2 Reapers out in 1 cycle before hopping it over. But he's just doing everything without add-ons. So his... Oh, wait, he misclicked his workers. Oh, that is painful. Oh, no, we caught him in the moment, guys. A full misclick on the workers. Oh, no, let's get out of here fast. Let's go to game number 4. All right, game number 4 is against Arsenal, a Grandmaster Terran. I haven't seen this player before. He is in a clan, so you would think that it's his main ID. But it could also be... you know, just someone having fun with some name changes. Now, let's see. We're playing on El Saini here. Is there a particular strategy that I can do? You know, guys, I'm feeling like I want to do a Thor drop. I also don't want to give my well-earned MMR away, though. I feel like over the last couple of games, I didn't really earn that much MMR. Like, I kept getting, like, freaking +4 and stuff, right? +5, +6. If I would lose here, that is probably, like, -50 or so. And I would end up having... Yeah, it would not be great. It would be very painful. In fact, we might even be below 6k then, I think, if we lose 50 MMR here. So, you know what? Maybe not this time. I do think this map has some potential to do some crazy builds on, though. Yeah, I would have actually liked to play my gas-first build here. I wonder if it's too obvious. So, check this out, right? I used to have a build where I go gas-first, double gas. I go for... Wait, do I make a reactor? I'm not quite sure if I make a reactor, but the basic premise of the strategy is you go Reaper Hellion, you proxy a starport somewhere close to the main base, and then you send in a Liberator at the same time as you go in with the Reaper Hellion, pretty much, right? And on this map, it might be good because let's say I can mine this patch out and proxy it here. He would have to mine out a patch to scout there, but at the same time, he can see that this patch is already gone, and it might make it like a little too obvious. That's what I'm thinking, and that's what I'm scared of. But it could be a very cool strategy. Let's keep that one, you know, in our brains. We might be able to use that one later on. Right now, we're gonna... You know what? I should probably just be working on like my normal TVT where I kind of like last game where I just scout well and I react. This game I did it without an SCV scout, which is perfectly fine. Not quite sure why he's waiting there. I mean, it's not like people make Marines against Terran, right? Or is that a thing now? Don't tell me that's a thing. That's really weird. You guys aren't making Marines against Terran, right? That would be strange. All right. Yeah, I'm just gonna send this Reaper across. I'm not a usual fan of Reaper YOLOing or whatever you want to call it, like just sending your first Reaper across. The main reason is just that if you lose it, you can even lose in a TVT, so that's pretty scary. Oh, wait, he held position. Wait, did he get another hit off? That's kind of crazy. Let's see if I can kind of mind game him a little bit there. Oh, he could also deny this. That would be kind of annoying. Let's see. I'm going to build it anyway. Let's see if I can win like a little micro battle here. I kind of want to imagine that he already went back home, but I'm not sure. But I do still have to get some scouting done. I mean, judging by the timing of his Reaper, this is very important. It's very small things, but you can get information from anywhere. That Reaper timing means that he's playing barracks first. So there's no gas first. Like it was in the last, yeah, gas first like in the last TVT. So we don't have to worry about something extreme, which is quite nice. Now, I would like to go for that strategy that lost us at TVT a while ago, which is the reactor 8-unit attack. And I think I talked about... Did I talk about this before? I'm not 100% sure, but it's important when you try builds. I see this a lot with my friends. I'll recommend them a build. They'll try it once. They lose for a reason that doesn't really have anything to do with the build, and then they give up on the build. But it's important to kind of realize why it's not working and then change the build. So the last time I lost with this, I'm not sure if you guys remember, is because I went super hard into a tank and I lost all of my units. Like, that pretty much has nothing to do with the build itself, right? Like, I could also just not run into the tank. So, I mean, I'm going to see if this build is a lot better if I just keep the units alive and maybe keep map control or something like that, you know? Like, there's a lot of things to fix. Like, there's no reason to just give up on the build straight away. I would really like to go for... You know what? I'm going to try Cloak Banshees once, just because of the new Cyclones, right? I think that might be a lot better. Oh, we're going to get a Reaper already. I imagine that he's going to have a couple Cyclones, yeah. Let's see how well these are going to trade. Like, Cyclones are flimsy as hell. Like, I know you think they're strong. You guys probably thought they were going to win that until I just showed up and did that, right? Yeah, Cyclones are very, very flimsy, guys. Trust me. I mean, as you guys can see. Let's see how many units I can kill here. And yeah, I mean, this already looks like a fantastic start. I killed the... Am I able to snipe that one? Yeah, we sniped it as well. Oh my god, I think we're just gonna win with this, probably. Like, he lost 3 Cyclones and... how many SCVs is that he lost? I mean, the answer is too many. I don't know exactly how many, but the answer is too many. And now I got my Banshee as the follow-up. And against the new Cyclone, this build looks very strong. Let's be honest here, guys. Just so you guys remember... A Cyclone, despite being significantly weaker than a tank, I mean, it's a completely different unit, right? So, it feels a little weird saying that, but I think you guys know what I mean. It is significantly weaker than a tank straight up. It takes the same amount of time to build. So, I basically just killed 3 tanks worth of build time. I mean, not entirely true because he has the reactor, but that means that he couldn't have it on another add-on, doesn't have the barracks on the reactor, etc., right? So, it is definitely very important. And now I'm just going to move my tank over where I can defend whatever he's attacking. Doesn't have to be too difficult. I do think this Banshee is going to be absolutely killer, though, to be honest. Let's see. He does have scans available, so that is slightly unfortunate for me. Can I micro this? Oh, he has a Raven, but it's over here. Oh, that is going to hurt a lot, guys. Is he going to go back, or is he going to drop the main? I'm not quite sure. Going to force a scan at least. There we go. Now, it is a little scary against the Raven because the Raven is going to make this a little inefficient as well. Let me siege this one over here. I do need a couple Marines to cover that at least. Now, the Cyclones are putting on a ton of pressure. It is going to be difficult for me to defend everything. But as long as I get out in a good enough position, like economy-wise in particular, we're going to be fine because we are definitely ahead. Or no, we're not ahead in production, but we're even in production, I should say. So if our economy doesn't, you know, get damaged a lot more, we are going to be in a pretty good position here. We should be like about 1 Raven down, about 2 tanks ahead at least, maybe more even. Could be even more than that. Now, should I play Mech or Bio behind us? I'm not quite sure. Let's see if we can force another scan. Looks like there's not that many SCVs here. I want to guess that the Raven is close by. But since the SCV... Wait, this looks like a... Did you guys see that? That looked like it was a freaking alive SCV. Let's see if I can get one more... Oh, I don't think we got it because of the medevac healing. But yeah, he already had so few workers there that now he has almost nothing. One thing to note is that he does have a lot of Ravens. So if he attacks with the Cyclones, you know, full on, we are going to need, you know, to be very careful there. Like, if he interferes, matrixes all of our tanks, that could be complicated. But I do have a decent amount of Ravens myself for auto turrets and stuff. I'm mostly scared of a drop. Like, if he has like 2 medevacs, for example, I feel like that could be a little scary. Wait, did I have an engineering bay already? Yeah, I did, right? Yeah, okay, exactly. For some reason, I felt like I was building it, but it made no sense for me to build it that early. It was just that I needed... Yeah, okay. Oh, no, that's not... No. No, I'm sorry, my friend. It was... We tried. Everything is gone. Okay, that was painful. Oh my god, he actually did have very little supply. I didn't realize how all-in this was. And how the hell did he have so many ravens? Wasn't that like 6 or something? Four ravens. Okay, I thought it was 5 or 6. No, it's just 4. Okay, that makes sense. Look at the worker counter, by the way. 29 against 53. That's how successful my attacks have been. So this game, I learned something very important here, guys. The Banshee, to be honest, I didn't really learn anything from this game. I mean, the Banshee did its work, but it also was kind of a weird game where the opponent was forced to attack us and stuff. So I didn't really learn anything about the Banshee. But what I did learn is that the Reaper Hellion build is maybe even better than before, because if your opponent doesn't have a tank, they are incredibly good against Cyclones still. So what that means is, you know, they need more to defend than they normally would. Normally, 2 Cyclones means we run away. Now, I attacked into 3 Cyclones, and I killed them all and his SCVs, right? So, against tanks, we go back. We learned that from the Mishu game, the very painful game where I lost every single unit without killing anything. If they're Cyclones, our attack's going to be even stronger. So, this build is probably going to stay in my arsenal. No pun intended, or maybe it was. But that's going to be it for the practice sessions, guys. I think a realistic judgment would be that, you know, we definitely did improve. We didn't improve as much as I would have wanted, but it makes sense because we only played about 70 games or so, which I said it before is less than a week, week's practice from a normal pro, right? But I still think, looking at the qualifier, we have a chance. We might need to get a little lucky with the bracket. We are going to go with a lower seed. I think the next video is probably going to be the tournament, or maybe I think it's probably going to be the holdout challenge and then the tournament, or the other way around. Anyway, you guys will see. Wish me luck. Thank you all for supporting me in this journey. Hope I made you guys proud with the practicing at least. And that's going to be it for today. If you had a good time, make sure to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch y'all for the next one. Adios.